Yo, like, is my art good? Please be honest. Yeah, mate. Sure, it's pretty good in it. But like, are you sure? Yeah, like I said, it is quite nice in it. But are you sure? No. No, it's actually pretty bad. It's actually like really bad, man. Like, I hate you. Please go die. How's it going, liberals? Welcome back to Mediocre Church's utterly fantastic YouTube channel. The entirety of 2025 has been one big artistic training arc for me, and I've made a lot of progress, and I want to share it with you fine people. Anyways, this is my number one tip that I don't see people talk about. Stop holding your pencil how the government taught you to. The UN doesn't want you to know this, but the way that they taught you how to hold a pencil in your public schools is not the optimal way for drawing. This is so that they can keep you from drawing Sonic reading a Bible. So now you have to engage in modernism. If you're considering becoming a modern abstract artist, consider the following. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, I don't like looking at it very much. All of my homies hold their pens like this. Use your middle finger to support the side of the pen that your index finger isn't holding. This will give you greater mobility and control over your stroke. The UN grip of the pen, as I like to call it, is designed only for writing letters. Liberate yourself from the clutches of the UN and modern art and do my way. If you disagree with me, then you're gay. Another good thing you might want to try is drawing using the arm muscles rather than the wrist muscles. When you use a pencil with the wrist muscles, it's usually easier to draw in a certain direction, but when you're drawing, you might not always want to draw in the same direction. It takes some getting used to, but it's definitely manageable. Really helpful if you're drawing on a canvas or an easel or something like that. You can't really do wrist drawing on a larger surface. Or painting, for that matter. Next, you're going to want to identify what exactly you're going to be studying and drawing. Personally, I draw comics and stuff, so I need to study anatomy. So here's how I did that. Start by learning the skeleton. The skeleton is the non-squishy part of the human body. Its proportions remain consistent. Thus, mastering the skeleton allows us to master human body proportions at a fundamental degree. First, learn how to draw the spinal curve, then the pelvis and rib cage. I recommend Stan Prokopenko's Anatomy for the Artist course. It's free on YouTube. Oh, not on my Christian YouTube channel. Another resource I use very often is the app 3D Anatomy for the Artist by Catfish Animation Studio. It allows you to view models of the human skeleton and muscular layers from multiple different angles, and there are a lot of different models to choose from. So this is a fantastic research to start at the foundation and then kind of work your way up, only if you want to, though. If not, that's okay. Like, I don't mind. Another app I use fairly often is called Handy, which has the best UI that I have ever seen. It's great for references of like the hands, hence the name Handy, and feet, and human heads that aren't just skulls or flayed. Other things that are good to study are perspective, faces, nature, fabric, and animals. Lately, I've been drawing a lot of astronauts in order to practice detail, proportion, and perspective. But mediocre couch, you may ask. How should I go about practicing these lovely techniques that you described? Well, here's the bread and butter of how you're gonna get better at drawing stuff. People always tell you that if you want to get better, then you should draw daily, but like, this is only half of the equation. Because if you're going to draw wrongly, then your art will inbreed itself and become various disgusting homunculi. You gotta do your warm-up sketches before you start a drawing session. Get yourself a fresh page of a moderately large sketchbook, then either a pencil or a pen, and fill up the page practicing something. Most of the time I would recommend working from photos, since this is where you're going to want to practice things that actually exist. Take an iPad or something and get a ton of reference photos and practice off of them. I do not mean that you copy them photorealistically. I mean, this can be an effective form of practice, but these are warm-ups, not gallery exhibitions. Ideally, you should fill up the page in 15 minutes or less. If you're drawing a face, you should be studying one or two elements of it, like proportions and placement of certain features. This is important because I've been drawing for 6 years, and until very recently, I didn't realize that the cheekbone and the jawbone were two separate things. I blame anime. The 7 elements of art are line, shape, color, form, space, value, and texture. So you can focus on any of these if you want to do a study. If you've ever been in art class above an elementary school level, you may know what a line contour drawing is. This is when you try to draw something without picking up your pencil the entire time. The whole thing is one connected line, and it forces you to get really creative. These are effective studies to do quickly, and they help you build your line confidence, which keeps you from chicken scratching every line, so now you can draw faster. I do value studies with the side of my pencil or a piece of charcoal, and then try to copy the lighting of a photo as accurately as I can. Or you can do a form study and copy a cityscape without getting lost in the details or using strict perspective guidelines. All are fantastic ways to study, and I've seen massive improvement by spending 20 minutes to an hour practicing before I start a drawing session. Now understand that drawing is also kind of like my job, so I have way more time for it than most people do. I spend at least 8 hours a day drawing every day. So if you're not a hardcore drawer like me, you can reasonably spend less time practicing and warming up before each session. Now let's talk reference photos. Unless you're an artist who only copies directly from photos and stuff, which I can respect, you're gonna want to learn how to use references. Practice with reference photos is a great way to imbue within your brain a good foundation for how stuff looks like. You likely will not be able to accurately draw a human face without doing several studies based on reference photos. For facial pose and environment studies, there are 2 websites that I frequent between. One of them is called Line of Action and the other is called Sketch Daily. Basically, you can have either a timed or unlimited practice session where it will show you random images submitted by people. Both sites have a slightly different library of submitted images, so I like to use both of them. Be absolutely sure that the models are set to clothed. So to end this video, why don't we warm up together, just you and me? You lovely viewer. I love you. But yeah, my Animal Crossing town is pretty goated. I have my anatomy for the 3D artist opened here. I'm going to do some skull warm-ups. And then we got Clip Studio over here, which is where I'll work. And here's my iPod. I just had my Google up a minute ago. Where in the world did I put my tablet close? See, I usually do this in a sketchbook, but I really do not have a good setup for that, to film that. So I'm going to start with something I'm fairly familiar with. I do this basically every day. I draw the skull from several different angles. And I'm not trying for like super
hardcore accuracy right now. This is warm up. I'm not going to bother with detailing the teeth. I'm just trying to get a similar proportional layout. All right, let's look soft. Okay, the cranium. The cranium looks too short. I gotta extend it back. I'll add this to indicate the other teeth. All right, let's try another angle. This is one of my favorite to draw the skull from. In this view, we get a little bit of the spinal cord where it connects to the head. All right, I like this. Once again, the cranium. Generally, this is why you gotta warm up, because my crania are way too small today. It's also like 11 p.m. and I want to go to bed, but let's draw from the back. Or this angle. This is an angle I like a lot. Once again, the cranium problem presents itself. Alright, I'm going to do one more side view to see if I can get the cranium right this time. I'm going to be using a bit of the principles of shape here. So the eye socket generally has this sort of rounded shape. So I'm just going to be drawing this rounded shape here, and then I have the bone go over here. Cheekbone comes down here. Cheekbone it should not be down there. Yeah, this ain't too great, to be honest. So we're going to do some gestural contour drawings now. And let's do that of the skeleton. Going to start with the skull up here. I'll go out into the collarbone over here. Here's the rib cage, bring it down here. It connects to the pelvis down here. Pelvis is just round. And obviously, we're studying figure drawing right now. If you were studying like just straight up drawing skeletons, you'd need to put in a lot more detail, but most people, you cannot see the bones from beneath their flesh. I'm not worrying too much about that. Notice I'm not picking up my pencil at all right now. I cannot see the full page, but I'm going to add this. See, that was one continuous stroke. That's what you do for a contour drawing. Let's do one from the side view. Well, I'll try to do this one in under 30 seconds. Start with the spinal curve. Here's the rib cage, bring it down, egg shape. Pelvis like this. Pelvis is actually over here. Scapula's back here. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good skeletal practice. Let's do one from the top-down view. Kind of start with the spine, like always. Actually, I usually start with the head and then draw the spine, but we are not drawing the head here. We are focusing on the torso. Here's the pelvis down here. Then there's the hole in the middle. Scapula. Scapulae. I don't know. I mean, like, I know Latin. Did you guys know that about me? I straight up know Latin. Like, I can't speak it because it's kind of a dead language and I haven't had any practice speaking it, but like, I can read it and translate it fairly easily. That's a good study right there. This is a good... I'm going to draw a frog now. I'm gonna finish this off by doing some face studies. Here we are in Sketch Daily. We're gonna go to... Okay, let's try this. Hairline up here, part right here, bun back here, nose comes out like this, brow line. Hair kind of obscures a lot of it, so I think the eyes are gonna be like, eyelid comes over here. This eye needs to be bigger. Then we're going to finally do the lips. Lips are tricky, man. Then there's this little part that extends like this. I like this. Wait, let me just... I'm not going to draw the arms because I'm so going to look at this tomorrow and hate it, aren't I? But that's okay. That is okay, bros. This is just a warm-up. It is not a gallery exhibition. I mean, for me, it kind of is, because I'm posting this on YouTube tomorrow, but, like, it shouldn't be. Alright, let's do this guy. I'm more warmed up now, so I can start doing it a bit quicker. Cranium probably extends... The hairline's about here. Cranium extends probably up here. There's a plane change around here, it looks like. The face changes planes. Then eyebrows are good landmarks for drawing faces. The nose is quite a bit more flat on this person. Then I'm just going to quickly block in the hair. I'm liking how this is looking. Tricky to get the structure of the ear down in your mind. You're going to have to do tons of studies and really just... Oh, the eyes go in like this from this angle. Once again, I made the eyes too small. That is something I need to work on. Block in the color. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with these. These are some good face studies, I feel like. Great way to warm up. I highly recommend you do this. Alright, see you later. Keep on schmoovin' and groovin'.
Also, like, check out my Animal Crossing town. Over here I have my perfect pears and golden roses. I have a best town ever rating, by the way. Over here I have a black and a red rose. Here's my town hall, and there's my Moe head, and here's my other iPod. Like, I got into collecting these things. Oh wow, very very Frutiger Arrow bros, isn't it? Happy birthday to this lovely dog. Also read my webcomic.